now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times!
What's going on, horror fanatics? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel, as well as episode 12 of I Shot Him 6 Times horror podcast. As you know, I'm your host and creator of the channel, Marcus. If you haven't done so already, please shoot this episode of the podcast a like. It definitely helps out, especially with getting more notoriety to the channel and to these streams and to these episodes of the podcast. As well, if you happen to be a new viewer coming across this stream, shoot that like button, as well as that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so you get all the latest content updates to the channel, as well as if you would like to become a member here to the channel, shoot over to the channel dashboard, shoot that join button, and choose what level membership best works for you. All right, everybody. So excuse me for my voice. It's been a long weekend. I've been putting in a lot of work, staying up to like 5 o'clock in the morning, talking about movies, watching movies, stuff like that. So my voice is a little not up to par, but like I said yesterday in yesterday's stream, we're going to push through it. So in this episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about some more Insidious, talking about the box office numbers, what could happen next for the franchise after this latest installment, as well as a Beauty and the Beast live action horror movie that is being made called Belle. I saw that on Twitter, and I found that to be very interesting, and I want to talk about it here on this episode of the podcast, as well as the Nun 2 official trailer release. I saw this trailer when I was watching Insidious, leading into the film, how they show the trailers before you get to the movie. And I'll say this real quickly. I've said it here over the last couple of days. I have not been a fan of the Nun. I watched the first one. I did not find it entertaining. However, I will say that the trailer has piqued my interest, and we're going to talk about it more here as we get along in this episode of the podcast. But I want to check the chat and see who's all in here, see who's all stopped in right now. Dominant St. Clair Studio, what's going on, man? I hope you're having a great day. This is going to be a fun stream for sure. This is going to be a fun episode of the podcast. Again, I apologize for how my voice sounds. My voice is a little weathered. Been putting in a lot of work over the weekend and stuff, hanging out with everybody, watching movies and stuff, talking about movies. So just my voice is a little not up to par. You know what I mean? So just bear with me. We'll get through it. We'll get through it together. Val, what's going on, Val? I hope you're having a great day. I don't know if you saw it, Val. I'm sure you did by now, but I started that members only chat room on Instagram. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Calm down, Don Boy. Don Boy's acting a fool. Okay, Val, let's go. Okay. I'm going to be keeping my eyes out for that one. Keep my eyes open for that one, Val. Is it the Corey one you were talking about that you left me a message on Instagram? Let me know. Dom saying I haven't seen The Nun, so I can't say much on that. Yeah, I watched the first Nun, and like I said, I really wasn't entertained by it. But like I said, the Nun 2 trailer piques my interest. So we're going to definitely talk about it because, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We were going to talk about it for sure. Horror 101 in the chat. What's going on, Horror? How are you doing today, man? I hope you're having a great day. Saying, hey, man, it's Eric from Smells Like Teen Horror. Oh, okay. What's going on, Eric? I hope you're having a great day, man. That's what's up. I didn't know you had another channel. Oh, okay. So gave my channel name a new name. Okay, got it. Nice. Like it. I like it a lot. I like the other one though too. Because of the whole Nirvana reference. I like that. But hey, that's not a bad name to change your channel name to at all. All right, guys. So I think we're going to start getting into the conversation here. I'll probably go for like 2 hours, something like that. Probably stop the stream about 3:30ish, something like that, maybe 4 o'clock. We'll see how it goes down. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Got a lot to talk about here. So we're going to start off with Insidious. Obviously, I talked about it here over the last few days. I did my little little over an hour. Me and Destin went yesterday talking some spoilers. We also did a non-spoiler review on Thursday when it came out. And financially, it's done well. The box office numbers, I knew it was going to do well when I read on Friday that Thursday they made $5 million just on Thursday's reviews. Now, me and Destin talked about it, and we said that we assumed, based on previous installments of the Insidious franchise, that they maybe spent roughly between 10 to 12 million for this movie to be made. They spent 16 million. They made 5 Thursday night. So as soon as I saw that $5 million mark for Thursday, I said they're going to make their money and then some. They're going to make a profit off this movie. So I go on, all my social media outlets, every news outlets, checking up on stuff. And we got an update on the box office numbers over the weekend for Insidious, The Red Door. And they made 32.6 million. So they spent 16 million on the movie. They made 32.6 million over the weekend. They already doubled what they spent. So it's a profit. Well, why is that important? It's important because that means down the line there's going to be another Insidious movie made. Whether that's with the Lamberts, and we're going to talk about that, or with an entirely new story, an entirely new cast, so on and so forth. There's going to be more Insidious movies made. They doubled their money. They're going to make even more money, with more people that's going out to see it. So they're definitely going to, make more Insidious movies. Now, I want to bring up the fact, though, that the reason why this movie is doing so well is because the original cast of characters returned for this movie. Because when you look up the box office numbers for the third and fourth installment that did not have Patrick Wilson in it, did not have Rose Byrne, did not have Ty Simpkins, they didn't do so well. They didn't do as well as, the first Insidious did 13.2 million. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think their budget was that much. I think it was maybe, I want to say roughly 1 million. I'll have to check back in on that, but it wasn't that much. So they made a profit. The second Insidious that brought back Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins, the original cast from the first, did 40 million in the opening weekend. So it was a hit. Then for the third one, without them, it did less. I think it did like 20 something million. And then the same was for The Last Key. It didn't exceed 30 million. So even though they made profits with those movies, they didn't make what they made off Insidious 2 and Insidious 1 with the original cast of characters. That's why this movie is doing so well, because you got Patrick Wilson back, you got Rose Byrne back, you got Ty Simpkins back, so on and so forth. And plus, this is supposed to be the closing chapter of their storyline. So that's why a lot of people are going out to see this movie. And that's why Insidious The Red Door, no matter what you feel about it, whether you like the movie a lot, whether you're in the middle, or whether you don't like the movie at all, the movie made money. So that means down the line, we're going to get more Insidious movies. Now, I will say, though, because of those numbers and because of what I mentioned, that their peak profits is when they have Patrick Wilson in the original cast in this movie, in this franchise. I have a feeling, unless, and me and Destin talked about this yesterday, unless somebody comes along and makes an R-rated Insidious movie, this franchise might not do well the second time it's reintroduced. Because there's definitely going to be a time gap before we get the next Insidious movie, at least in my opinion. So how are they going to do without Patrick Wilson in this movie, like in these movies anymore? This is supposed to be the closing chapter. How are they going to do? They didn't do that well with 3 and 4 without him. Now, you can argue, okay, maybe he'll go on to direct more Insidious movies. That's not impossible. But are people paying to see Patrick Wilson behind the director's chair, or are they paying to see him in the movie itself? They're paying to see him in the movie itself. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, it's good, good that they're making money. I'm always an avid supporter, especially for a franchise that I like, to do well so that we can get more movies. But I'm a firm believer now, after watching Insidious 5, the Red Door, that the next Insidious movie, to take this franchise to the next level and to also, in my opinion, reinvent the red-faced demon, you have to go to an R rating, in my opinion. You have to push the creative envelope. And the only way you do that, in my opinion, is if you go to an R rating to where we get more dialogue, we get more stuff. We get a little bit more violence. I think Insidious has such a cool concept, especially with the red-faced demon. They just did not, that PG-13 hurts this franchise. They could do so much more with that villain. And they just really can't, because it's that PG-13 rating. It's a PG-13 type of horror movie. And it's sad because they, like I said, they could do so much more. And I think that that's the route they're going to have to go if they're going to make another Insidious movie in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, however long it takes to make the next one. So I think that this movie, this franchise, when it does come back, because it's going to come back, they made a profit. They have to do something different. Don, you need to calm down, buddy. Calm down, man. Come over here. You can come over here with me, because you're acting a fool. But yeah, I think that they need to push the creative envelope, especially with their villains, and they need to create new villains as well. That's something they did not really do in the Red Door. They didn't do a good job with that, in my opinion. I get it. It's supposed to be from the past. It's supposed to tie into the past. But in order for this franchise to keep being a namestay, and it has been a namestay over the last 10 years or so since its release, there are fans of this franchise. But in order to make it better and evolve, you have to go to an R rating, in my opinion. There's so much you can do with an R rating, and especially in the care of the right hands. You know what I mean? With the right person writing and directing it, it could definitely work. There's so many cool things you can do with it. This franchise has a lot of good jump scares. They have a lot of good creative villains, a lot of creative ghosts. Just need more capitalization. So I think that it's a good thing. It's a success at the box office, but I do worry that without Patrick Wilson acting in these movies, as well as Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins, this franchise might struggle going forward. So we'll see. I will say this, and I pitched this idea yesterday, and I'm going to pitch it here now. If you can get Jenna Ortega back in the Insidious franchise, then you can make some money, because her character was in Insidious 2. Insidious number 2, Annie. So, and we know she's a huge star. So if you're not going to make a movie for another 5 years, so on and so forth, obviously we know Jenna's taking a lot of projects now. We don't know where she's going to be at in 5 years. I'd like to think she's going to either still be at the level she's at now or even possibly higher. But I think if you can bring her back into the franchise as that next movie, you have something there. But if you do that, let's push the creative envelope and take it to an R rating and get out of the PG-13 era. Like, don't get me wrong. There are some great PG-13 related horror films. There's some good content for PG-13, but we get better stuff. And I think we all can agree with this. It's always a better horror movie when it's rated R because you can just do so much more. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm glad the movie's doing good. Don, you need to calm down, man. I'm having so much problems with this dog right now. It's ridiculous. You got to calm down, buddy. But all right, I'm going to get some of you guys to chat, see what you guys are saying about it. If you guys have seen Insidious, The Red Door, if you went out to go see it, let me know what you think about it. You know, I know Val seen it. I know what she feels about it. So anybody else here who's here in the chat who has went out to see Insidious, The Red Door, let me know what you feel about it. I mean, again, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie, but it's a good movie that disappoints me because I see so much potential in what this movie could have been, and they just didn't capitalize on it. Especially for a movie that's supposed to cap off a story. Yeah, it definitely left a lot to be desired. It really did. Okay, so NRU Cody Ghostface, what's going on, man? I hope you're having a great day. Saying still haven't seen the first one. Should I watch them before seeing The Red Door? Yes. Watch Insidious 1 and 2 specifically before seeing The Red Door. 3 and 4, I would say watch those just because it ties in just to the overall franchise, but it doesn't have anything to do with the original family from 1 and 2 like The Red Door does. So yes, watch Insidious 1 and watch Insidious 2 specifically to understand Red Door's story. Eric saying it beat Indiana Jones, so even if you think like the movie, it's a win for horror. Yes, worldwide, it's made 64 million. See that right there, just over the weekend, just here in the States, it made 32. You know, Eric's now saying worldwide, it's made 64. So this budget was 16 million. They made 48 million over the weekend total. So essentially, when you look at it in that way, they damn near they upped their money by what? They spent 16 million and 64. So they increased their money by 4 times. They got 4 times back the money they spent. There's going to be more Insidious movies. It's just all about, are they going to survive without these core characters, without these legacy characters? Because that's what they are. They are legacy characters. Is this franchise going to survive without them? I personally think the only way, especially for the next movie, I'm just speaking in the premise of the next movie, the only way you're going to keep fans invested is if you bring somebody back like a Jenna Ortega to reprise her role from a previous installment. Because she was really young in Insidious 2. She was still a baby, basically. She's still like a child. Like, she wasn't a baby, but she was just right outside of her teenage years, I would say. I don't know exactly how old she was. I'll have to go look up, her age and, exactly when that movie came out. But she was young. And I feel like to make an impact and to bring this franchise back in a big way, you have to have a big name come on board. If Patrick Wilson ain't coming back, if Ty Simpkins ain't coming back, if Rose Byrne ain't coming back, and it definitely felt like she was not going to ever come back to this franchise with how her character was in this movie, she was barely there. You have to have somebody who is a big name. And Jenna Ortega, especially right now, is a big name. Now, again, whether that's going to remain the same in the next 5 years remains to be seen. It all depends on when they're trying to do another Insidious movie. Hell, for all we know, they could be trying to do another one within the next 2 years. One way or another, though, you have to bring somebody in big name that's going to fill the shoes of Patrick Wilson, because it's obvious when you look up the numbers in this franchise does better when its core original characters are in the films. So if you're not going to have them back, you have to fill that gap with a big name star, in my opinion, and somebody who has been in the franchise itself. She ties in perfectly. So next Insidious movie, book Jenna Ortega, get the fans hooked, get the fans excited, hopefully make it R-rated, and let's make it a great movie. And let's see if we can expand upon that. And hey, I do want to say, what's up, Gina? I seen you commented here earlier. What's going on, Gina? How you doing today? Hope you're having a blessed day. Always great to see you, Gina. Saying not seen this franchise. Well, Gina, you definitely got to give it a look. It's for PG-13 franchise, it's done well. They're not bad movies. It's just, especially with paranormal stuff like this, especially with ghosts and ghoulies, I like to think as a horror fan, you always want to push the creative envelope. And they have some really cool concepts in this franchise. I just feel like they're handicapped with being PG-13. There is so much creatively you can do with the ghoulies and the ghosts in this franchise, with the paranormal stuff. You could definitely take this franchise to a new level in the right hands with an R rating. Definitely check it out, though, Gina. Give it a watch. They're not bad films. They're not, especially for PG-13 horror movies. They're actually quite interesting. They actually have some good stuff in it. They just could do more. The first two movies, especially the second one, top notch. But then in the third and fourth one, you can kind of see when they didn't have those original characters playing those roles, it suffered. The movie suffered. So they still made money. They were still good, but there's a reason they brought back the original cast in this film. There's a reason for that. And the profits are showing it. So, hey, again, I'm not against it. I'm not mad at all that this movie made a lot of money. Good. More, again, like Eric said earlier from Horror 101, it's a win for horror. If a horror movie at the box office does well, that means we get more horror movies. That means more horror movies are going to be in demand. I'm all here for that. Why would I ever be against it? I'm a horror movie content creator. Like, I want more horror stuff. I want more slasher stuff. I would say I want more paranormal stuff. It's not that I don't. I just want some paranormal shit that's going to be different. That's what I want. I want something different than what we've grown accustomed to seeing. Paranormal stuff has kind of become watered down for me because it's kind of the same stuff. But if you do it well, and then if you make the story feel important, you can make a good paranormal movie still. So, fingers crossed this franchise moves to R-rated. I think you can do so much more with it. It'd be so fun to see an R-rated Insidious movie. Let's ramp this up. Let's ramp the creativity up. Like, me and Destin were talking about it yesterday. Like, the red-faced demon is such a cool-looking character. Yes, does he look like the Phantom Menace from Star Wars? Sure, he does. The paint, the makeup, all that. But the subtle little other details about him with the hair to the side and the contacts like that, like the color of the contacts, like, he's a very unique looking character. And I think you can create that character to be a lot more sinister than what they did in the franchise. And I'd like to see them go in a darker direction with it. I really would. It would be fun. get to some more of you guys' comments. NRU Cody Ghostface saying, how would you feel if they rebooted the whole Paranormal Activity series? Again, after the first one, and there's a couple sequels I did like. I want to say, see, I can't even remember because it's been so long since I paid attention to them. Maybe the third or the fourth one. I wouldn't know, the Ghost Dimension. Whichever one was the Ghost Dimension. I like the Ghost Dimension. But ever since that first one, it just became repetitive. It became just like another paranormal movie. And I think the reason why I gravitated to Paranormal Activity, the original, is because, much like Blair Witch, originally they kind of fluked me into believing it was some real shit, you know? But unlike the Blair Witch Project, which I cannot stand to this day, it's like ugh, a disgusting feeling in my stomach. I'll just say that. It's just such an icky movie. Sorry to those who like it. But unlike the Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, the original, is still really good. Like, I enjoy watching it because it feels so real. That's why. It feels real. They did a really good job of making that movie feel real. It's just all the other stuff, it just, after a while, it's just, once you know it's not real, it's just kind of takes the funk out of it a little bit. And then it's kind of like the same type of stories. And so I guess to answer your question, no. Maybe a soft reboot of the original. Maybe if you do a trilogy and it's of the same story or the same family or whatever, like it's a continuation. Okay. But again, I just, with paranormal movies, it's tough for me. And I want to like them so much. It's just, I feel like this. The original Exorcist is my favorite paranormal movie of all time, right? After that movie came out, it wasn't like there was a bum rush of paranormal movies to follow that. Not like you've seen with Halloween, with slashers. You know, you didn't see the paranormal genre of horror. You didn't see that side of the genre take off the way Halloween did for slashers. You didn't see that after Exorcist. And then once, you know, our slashers were kind of stale and repetitive and watered down, then everybody was just like, all right, let's make more paranormal movies. Let's get away from the slasher because there's really not too many. They don't really have too many creative ideas for them, unfortunately. You know, which is why we've been getting requels and stuff like that. So a lot of creators feel like they can be really creative with paranormal stuff. And I understand that. But it kind of becomes the same thing. And you can say the same thing about slashers. The only difference is, though, with slashers, especially in a whodunit format, there's more creatively that you can do. It's a guessing game. With paranormal stuff, it's no guessing game. You're just wondering when the next jump scare is going to happen, or when somebody's mysteriously going to get drugged through the house or float in the air. You know, so I like paranormal stuff. I don't love it. I Exorcist made me love paranormal stuff. When we started getting all these paranormal movies in the 2000s and in the 2010s, it just watered it down for me. So maybe the new Exorcist, I mean, I know we haven't really heard great things about it, but I'm going to give it a chance. Hopefully the new Exorcist will make me recapture that feeling that I had with the original one and with paranormal movies in general. And I'm doing a Conjuring live watch party here on the channel Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Be on the lookout for the stream. I'm actually going to be making it here tonight. So when that stream hits the notifications, when you hear that bell, you know, go off on your phone or whatever, go hit the notify me button, hit the like button, come join us for some Conjuring. I've never watched it really. I literally popped Conjuring on for like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, tops. And because I felt like it was just another paranormal movie, I said, oh, I don't watch it. But a lot of my friends here in the community they've been lighting a fire under my ass about this movie. So we're going to watch it and I'm going to see how I feel. I'm going to give it a real chance and we'll see how I feel about The Conjuring. Maybe I'll like it more because it is based on true events. I would never really hope that would happen to anybody, but the fact that it is a true story supposedly does make the movie all that more enticing and intriguing. It does. So, but again, we'll see. Maybe watching The Conjuring might change my feelings on how I feel about paranormal movies, as well as the new Exorcist movie. I'm looking forward to that because again, the original Exorcist movie is my favorite paranormal movie of all time. So, no matter how I feel about what David Gordon Green did with Halloween Ends and with people and what people are saying from early test screenings of watching Exorcist, the new one, I'm still going to give it a chance. I'm going to go give it a watch and hope that it's a really good movie. But yeah, Cody, I don't know. I'll settle for a Paranormal Activity trilogy with a great storyline. I'll do that. I'll give you that. But in terms of the entire series, yeah, I don't know about all that, man. Cody asking, how would you feel if they had a crossover with the Conjuring series and Insidious series? I mean, it's the same creators who made it, so James Wan made the original one and the second one. Yeah. I, I mean, I think it could work. Maybe this is how you get Insidious to be a part of the R-rated universe. Maybe you make a Conjuring / Insidious type movie where we have, like you said, a crossover before getting a new Insidious movie, and that movie would be R-rated, which would help with pitching the idea of a standalone Insidious movie or a sequel in the franchise being an R-rated movie. You can set that up that way. I like that. That's a good idea. It's not a bad idea. It's basically the same stuff. Ghosts and ghoulies and paranormal and stuff like that. So I will say, well, they kind of have, with what I've heard about the Conjuring series, they kind of have gone, a little bit off the more realistic stuff. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, you could do a crossover with that because I had to think there for a second. Conjuring is supposed to be based on real events, Insidious isn't. But yeah, I mean, it's all about being creative. It's all about being creative. And if James Wan were to do it, a crossover between those two franchises, it will work because he's that damn good. He's that damn creative. Horror 101 saying there's a spin-off movie coming out called Thread, an Insidious Tale. Oh. I'm going to have to look that up. I did not hear anything about that. So thank you, Eric. I never heard about that. Well, we're going to see. Oh. It might be coming out in 2 years. See? Wow. That's news to me. I did not know that. Well, I mean, bring Jenna Ortega in for it. It's an Insidious tale, right? So if it's an Insidious tale, it can still be about her character that was in the second film. She's grown up now, so on and so forth. But again, in my opinion, you got to have somebody who's going to be a star come in and take the helm because They have not done well without their stars of the franchise. They haven't. Financially, they tanked without their stars. Yes, definitely, Cody. Definitely. What's going on? World's gone sour. I hope you're having a great day. Saying, my boy, I shot him 6 times. That's right. That is right, buddy. Again, I hope you're having a great day, man. It's a beautiful day out here in my neck of the woods. It ain't too hot out from what, I was able to go out and see, stepped out for a second. I like days like these. Just cool chilling, you know what I mean? Isaiah and Renee, what's going on? Do you think there will be another Insidious? I do. Yeah, they made too much money. They made entirely too much money not to do it. And according to Eric from Horror 101, I'll go back to this comment here. If you didn't see it, there is a spin-off movie coming out called Thread, an Insidious Tale. So there you go. What's real quick? What's going on, Denisha? One of my modulators. What's going on? I hope you're having a great day. It's always good to see you, Denisha. And Isaiah and Renee, of course, I want another Halloween movie. Asking me, do I want another Halloween movie? Of course I do. Of course I do. We have to get another Michael Myers movie. It made too much money. Regardless to what you feel about Halloween Ends, they still made a lot of money within that trilogy. Michael Myers will be back. And I've talked about it before. There's some avenues where you could go. I know a lot of us want to see Danielle Harris come back. That's a given. And Dwight H. Little, speaking of which, if I'm not mistaken, it might actually even be out either today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. But Danielle Harris, Robert Englund, Bill Moseley have a new movie coming out called Natty Knox, and Dwight H. Little, who directed Halloween 4, is directing that movie. And it's a slasher. So, and I've said it before, I said it in my Natty Knox video, this could potentially be a setup for Dwight H. Little to come back to the Halloween franchise and direct the next Halloween movie and bring Danielle Harris back, because we know they were together for Halloween 4. So, yes, I want another Halloween movie. It has to happen. But I also have said, and this is not a knock on Danielle Harris, I think she is a legend in her own right. Bar none, in the horror franchise, in the horror industry, in the horror genre. She is a legend for sure. But we know this. That doesn't equate to mainstream box office dollars. It doesn't always equate to that. And they are going to have to bring in somebody mainstream, in my opinion, to get the ticket sales and to get a lot of people interested. And I've said it, I talked about Paul Rudd reprising his role as Tommy Doyle. If he's available, we know he wasn't for Halloween Kills. So depending on when they decide to do another Halloween movie, maybe, I would love for that to happen. Another name, Josh Hartnett. We know that he just came back to Hollywood, so he's rebuilding his reputation. Maybe by the time they do the next Halloween movie, not only do they bring Danielle Harris in, they also bring Josh Hartnett in. One way or another, in my opinion, you have to bring somebody in with Danielle Harris that is going to draw big bucks. Because in order for the next Halloween film to be the success or anything close to Halloween 2018 and make an impact once again, you have to have somebody mainstream that is going to get the ticket sales. And that's why I say Paul Rudd, in my opinion, would be the best option, reprising his role as adult Tommy Doyle. And he fits in with that timeline. He came right after Danielle Harris left the franchise. Well, she didn't leave, but they basically did her wrong. She didn't come back for 6. But he fits in that Jamie Lloyd timeline. He came right at the tail end of it. So you can make it happen. And I think it has to happen in order for that movie financially to be a success. Because us us fans, us diehards, we're gonna go see it, whether it's a big name star or not, or whether it's just Danielle Harris, Ellie Cornell coming back, and no other big name stars and stuff like that. We're gonna go see it, but the casual fan isn't gonna go see it. So, but yes, to answer your question, absolutely, definitely want more Michael Myers, Michael Audrey Myers. It was Michael Myers. He's come home to kill. Let's go. Jason Baranowski saying the Nun 2 is that part of the Insidious or Conjuring franchise. Conjuring. The Conjuring franchise, my friend. But again, you could still do a crossover. It's all the same shit. It really is. It really is all the same shit. So you could mesh those two together really well. Cody's saying, I've asked Knight and Craven this. Who would win 2018 Michael Myers or Rob Zombie's Michael Myers? 2018's Michael Myers. And I'm not saying that because I don't like the Rob Zombie films or whatever. I just feel like the 2018 Michael Myers has more of the mythology and the mystique of the original Michael Myers. And yes, we know basically, essentially, they watered him down and humanized him even more so. We know he's a human, but they made that even more clear once we got to Halloween Ends that Michael is human, that basically our fear of him is basically what creates his mythology. But in terms of the original concept for the character and stuff like that, like, I feel like Halloween 2018's Michael captured that, and Rob Zombie's was way too human. Like when I get it what he was trying to do, but when Michael dropped to his knees and took his mask off and pulled the picture out and showed Laurie, I was just like, really? That's what we're doing here? You did all this just to, show her a picture that you're her brother? And this is the thing that drives me nuts about it to this day, is we know he can talk. We know he can talk. He even did it at the end of Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Die! And stabs Loomis. So if you can say, die, you couldn't sit there and say, I'm your brother, or whatever, something. Like, that drives me to this day absolutely insane. How he tried to make Michael seem like it was actually Michael Myers in terms of the original concept, making him mute, making him not talk. But then subsequently, you made him fucking talk anyway. So you should have just made him talk, period. And then we heard him talking at the beginning of the movie as a child. Got me all fired up here or whatever. But we heard him talking as a child, which was something we did not hear in the original 1978 film. He kills his sister, goes out front, his parents take off his mask, and he's just staring. Doesn't say a word. So the fact that you established that he could talk, it just, stuff like that, the softness. He kind of made Michael soft. Doesn't matter if he's 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. That don't matter. In so many ways, with stuff like that, he made that version of Michael Myers seem soft. Yes. Was he a killing machine? Was he brutal? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes. He was an animal. He was a Rob Zombie type of Michael Myers. You know what I mean? But in terms of really being scary to me, 2018 Michael Myers kicks that Michael Myers' ass. Easy. It wouldn't be a contest. Did you see what he did to that mob in Halloween Kills? see that? He fucked 2007 Michael Myers up. Take his mask in the process, too. Might just put it on a trophy, or might just put it on a fucking decal or on a, whatever the fuck you call that, a commemorative type of, shelf, and hang his, 2007 Michael's mask up there, and then just do the head tilt. Yeah, I mean, again, Tyler Mane, he's a physical specimen. He is. But in terms of what Michael Myers is supposed to be, it's so easy to get intimidated by a guy who's that damn big. It is. I'm sorry. It's mostly human nature if you are a smaller guy. When you see a motherfucker 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, maybe outweigh you by 200 pounds, there might be some intimidation creeping in there. That's easy. What to me is more terrifying is a guy who's around my size, maybe anywhere between 5'10" and 6'2", 6'3", 200 pounds, 215. That's scary to me because he has abnormal strength of a man who's that damn big. That's why it's more scary to me that with Michael Myers being smaller. You didn't need to make Michael Myers big to make him look strong. You get what I'm saying? And that's why 2018 Michael Myers will give 2007 Michael Myers the business. And then take that picture of Laurie and Michael when they were kids and right all over him. I'm ruthless. I'm messed up. Oh, man. Okay, Val. Yeah, see, I'm a little bit behind, so I'm going to have to catch up. But Val saying I'm back, new video uploader. All right, I'm going to check that out for sure, Val, after this stream. Yeah, I'm behind in the chat, guys. I just wanted to get to a lot of you guys' comments, though, because I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I feel like, especially when I have guests and we be conversating and stuff, I don't get to do that as much. And sometimes when I do be finishing the stream, I'll be kind of feeling bad and stuff like that because y'all be showing mad love and support, and I can't get to every single message. So my Chunky Jordy, Gina saying, I wish the weather was nice here. It's just taken 3 attempts to get Ziggy to go for a walk as she hates the rain. See, that's crazy because I think my dog is the only dog I've ever met in my life that doesn't care about the rain. Every other dog I've seen that I've came across, they don't like the rain. My dog, he don't care. It's weird. I don't know. He's not human. Well, of course, he's an animal. Let's go. All right. I do want to answer this question from Cody. Saying, will you be watching Welcome to Derry, a Pennywise series? Yes, I will be paying attention to that. I like the It franchise. I do think that the original, ones were better than the newer ones. I know some believe that not to be true. Some actually favor the newer It's compared to the older It's, but not me. I nobody tops Tim Curry. I'm sorry. Eric saying, when I mentioned being a wrestling fan on Craven's live stream, the look you gave made me think you might also be a fan. A fan. Oh, are you? Absolutely. Hell yes. I'm actually planning to go to WrestleMania in Philly. It's 2 hours away from where I live. So I'm trying to go to WrestleMania. I am. It's going to be amazing. I think tickets go on sale, late August, early September? So I don't give a damn if it's bleeders. Like, I really don't. I want to go. Like, it's WrestleMania weekend in Philly. Like, absolutely. Big wrestling fan. Yep, and Val letting Eric know I am. Yep, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna scroll down here in the chat. I'm gonna get a little bit caught up. And then we're going to move on to the next topic of conversation, which is going to be Belle, which is going to be a Beauty and the Beast live action horror film. interesting to say the least. And I haven't read much into it. I just seen it on Twitter on I forget the Twitter page. I'm gonna have to go. I followed them. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But it was just literally a spur of the moment like view, and I saw this post, and I'm like, huh, let me check into it. And I saw the poster for it, and I'm like, that's interesting. So I have some interesting ideas about that, you know, because I think it's a really interesting. I think it could be a really interesting concept and a really interesting movie. Now I know Winnie the Pooh live action didn't go so well. I didn't care for it, but that doesn't mean just because one live action horror film that was actually a kid's favorite, a Disney kid's favorite, that doesn't mean it can't, just because one wasn't good, the other might not be. So we're going to talk about it here in a second. I do want to catch up with some more of you guys' comments. Denisha saying, I can't wait for Monday Night Raw tonight. Yep, let's go. They've been doing some good stuff here lately. WWE, they have. Especially with that Bloodline storyline on SmackDown. Fire. Yep, Val saying that's right, D. I forget you're a wrestling fan too. Yep, she is. Hey, what's going on, Larry? Saying, what's up, Marcus? Hey, chat. Hope everyone is having a good Monday. Yes, absolutely, man. I hope you're having a good Monday too, my friend. Definitely having a good Monday. Just hanging out here. Episode 12. It's episode 11 of the podcast. See, I messed up on the last episode or whatever. I lost track of how many damn episodes I've done already because I do live streams separate of this. So it's easy to kind of get a little lost. So I said the last episode was episode 11 when really it was episode 10. I actually edited that thumbnail and edited that video before I did this. So just chilling, doing episode 11 here of the podcast, having a great time, talked about Insidious, talked about the box office numbers, talked about how there is going to probably be more Insidious movies, what I'd like to see out of future sequels, maybe bring Jenna Ortega back, stuff like that, because she was really young in Insidious too. I'm about to talk about some Belle, which is a Beauty and the Beast live action horror movie. And I'm about to share my thoughts on that. And, I think it's an interesting concept. And we're going to talk about the Nun 2 trailer release because I seen the trailer in the theater before Insidious came on. And as I said earlier in the stream, I'm not a big fan of the original Nun, but I'm willing to give this second one a chance because of the trailer. And we're going to get into it here in a few minutes. Denisha. Yup, Val, did you watch SmackDown? Jey Uso kick Roman's butt? He sucks. I love Roman Reigns, this version of him. This is what he always should have been. And I'm just going to say that. I think the job he's done over the last 3 years has been some of the best work we've seen in a long time. As well as Jey Uso, all of them. They've done such a great job with that storyline. That's right, 3 years in the making. So true. But okay, so let's get on to this topic of conversation with Belle, which is a live action horror film that is being made based on Beauty and the Beast. And I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting in terms of the Beast's character. Like, I think there's some directions you can go with it. Like, maybe instead of, I cannot remember watching that cartoon as a kid, that movie. Was he already a beast before he became a man? Somebody let me know about that in the chat. I can't remember. But my concept would be before he's a beast, he's a man. He approaches her as a man and he sways her. And then slowly but surely, she starts to see he's not, really a man. He's something otherworldly. He's a beast. He's, what he is. I wouldn't mind seeing them play into that. Now, whether it's going to be, I think it's supposed to be a slasher. I think that would be pretty cool. I really do. Like, in terms, especially of a storyline standpoint, what you could do with that. It could kind of be on some Dracula type shit just for a beast. You know what I mean? He's a beast. He's not a vampire. But in terms of like Dracula, like Stoker's Dracula and that storyline, maybe kind of piggyback off of that a little bit. I think it could do something, y'all. Like, again, Winnie the Pooh, I did not like that one. I know there are a lot of fans who don't like what they're doing in terms of taking our iconic, lovable children's franchises and characters and now turning them into horror movie characters and villains and stuff like that. I understand why that, a lot of people wouldn't like that, but at the same time, like, I feel like, and this goes for every movie, in the right hands, with the right writer, with the right director, you can make something happen. And I think Beauty and the Beast, out of all of them, I'm going to say maybe out of all of them, but I'll say as of right now, for me, out of all of them, because of the story, it could turn out to actually be a pretty good horror movie. I think this is something I'm going to keep an eye on, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think this is going to actually be something that I'll like, once they do like first look photos and drop more details, that I'm going to be paying more attention to. It's something about it. Just looking at that poster, it's something about it. I feel there's potential. This one has potential. It's not like I felt about Winnie the Pooh. I knew Winnie the Pooh was going to stink. I did. That's why I barely talked about it. Now, am I going to do like a review on it at some point here? Yeah, I will. For content purposes, yes, I will. You know what I mean? But when I watched it, I didn't feel the need to immediately come on here and talk about it because it wasn't good. It wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination. Did they have some good kills? Was it brutal? Sure. But what horror movie doesn't have, like, I shouldn't say that, but there's plenty of horror movies that have that. I felt the makeup was terrible, especially on Piglet. You can see the flaps. You can see it was a mask. The story, like, Christopher Robins and his whole dialogue, I'm sorry, Winnie, it's me, Christopher. It was literally like that the entire movie. It was awful. It was awful. But just because that was awful doesn't mean that every single one of these that they decide to do is going to be a bad one. So I'm going to give it a chance. And I think there's some other directions you can go with it too. Like, maybe you turn her. Maybe you turn her into a beast at the end of it. Kind of like on some Shrek shit with Fiona. Something. I just think that in terms of what this is supposed to be, I think there's so many different directions they could go in, and I'm fascinated to see what they come up with. I am. Like, I really hope it's more slasher, though. I really do. Because y'all know I love my slashers. That's my favorite part of the horror genre. I love the slice and the dice. That's my game. So we'll see. But guys, if you haven't yet, check it out. Go, look up on it. I'm definitely going to be doing some videos talking about it. Go check it out yourself. See if this is something, read up on it. See if this is something that might pique your interest. It's called Belle. That's it. Belle. And if you're having a hard time finding it, just put Belle, Beauty and the Beast horror movie. Now, on Google, you might have a hard time finding it. I will say that. Check it out on Twitter or whatever. You know what? Better yet, I'll do you guys a solid. When I'm done with this stream, I'll go back on my Twitter page and go back to the Twitter page that I found that on, and I'll share the link with you guys in a community post so you guys can go check it out and read the article and all that stuff. But I think it's something that, man, I'm optimistic. Like, and I want you guys to answer this for me in the chat. Am I being too optimistic about this live action Beauty and the Beast horror movie? Because as a horror fan, I, like so many of us, crave for something new and different to get us hooked. Do you guys think that's why I'm so optimistic about this movie? Like, let me know if how you guys feel about that in the chat. Because I don't know. Like, I will put it this way. Maybe 5 years ago, if you told me they're going to make a live action Beauty and the Beast horror movie, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? This is what we've come to. I would have said that. But now, I don't know. I just feel like, okay, so we're getting all the requels that we want. We got the Halloween requel, we got the Scream requel, we're getting Camp Crystal Lake, this TV show. Hopefully that will lead into a Friday the 13th movie. There's now talks of a new Freddy movie, so on and so forth. So we're getting our iconic franchises back, Saw. But where does that leave room for something new? We got Terrifier. Victor Crowley is another character over the last 10 years that has, made a name for himself, and rightfully so. But especially on a mainstream level, Terrifier, Art the Clown, is the only really new concept that is really making waves. Everything else is like stuff, franchises that have been here forever. Dinosaurs, if you will. I don't know. Am I clamoring for something new too much with hoping that this Beauty and the Beast live action horror film is going to be any good? Like, I kind of feel like I'm in between. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like whether it's a live action horror movie on stuff that we've, grew up watching as kids, like kids' characters, as long as it's a good one, it's good for horror. And I don't know. I'm really optimistic about it. I am. Let me know what you guys think here in the chat, though. I'm gonna get to some of you guys' chats here. Let me know, see what you guys, think about what I was just saying there. It's real quickly. It's funny you say this, Gina, because actually Thursdays we're gonna start doing this, and I actually have to. I think I did run it by Jamie, but I'm gonna run it by her again. But this Thursday we're gonna be starting to do these live watch parties for it and talk about each episode and stuff like that. So Gina, my chunky Jordy's saying, when are Jamie and yourself doing part 2 of Twin Peaks? I got season 1 and 2 for 99p and E349 postage. I hope I'm saying that right. But yes, this Thursday we're going to start that. I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. Like, basically up until we finish the Twin Peaks saga, Thursdays are going to be Twin Peaks Thursdays. Now, I will be doing this. I'll still be doing an episode of the podcast earlier in the day. But later on at night, we're going to have a separate one for Twin Peaks. Yeah, I understand that. I get it, Larry. On Larry saying Belle might be good, but I'm getting tired of all these Disney remakes. I get it. Like I never in a million years expected, anybody to think, okay, let's turn Disney characters into scary characters. I never thought I never see I don't see the allure behind it. Even with this, even though I'm optimistic about Belle, I don't see the allure behind it. I really don't. I don't see what's so cool about seeing Winnie the Pooh be a killer, especially with the way how that movie turned out. Like, excuse me, I don't see what's the allure. Well, see, I can see some of the allure of Beauty and the Beast because the male character is a beast. He's a creature. So I get that. But other stuff, no, I'm with you. Like I don't see the allure. But all we can hope for is that if this is the direction that they're going to keep going in, let's hope whoever doing them is at least making it worth our while and makes it actually good. You know, makes it acceptable. You know what I mean? Even if we don't like it initially, let's hope it's good enough to where we can be like, you know what? I don't like the allure of it. I don't like the concept of turning Disney characters into horror characters, but this was actually a good one. That's all we can. That's all we can hope for. But I will say this: if Belle doesn't do well, neither, if it's not well received, especially if Winnie the Pooh 2, which how the hell how that is getting a sequel, not to knock the creator. I'm not trying to sound rude here. I really am not. But how the hell that is getting a sequel is beyond me. It really is. So I'm not trying to disrespect anybody either who may like that movie. If you like Winnie the Pooh, nice. Good for you. I'm glad because that means there's going to be more horror movies with some difference coming out. But for me, it sucked. It was terrible. So if Belle doesn't do well and Winnie the Pooh isn't well received, just like the first one wasn't really well received, I think we might slowly but surely start seeing an end to this whole idea of taking Disney characters and making them into horror movies and characters, horror movie franchise characters. Okay, so thank you, Gina. Saying he was a man and then cursed and turned into a beast, and then at the end became a man again, from what I remember of Beauty and the Beast. Okay. Got you. Got you. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, just because of that beast aspect, they could definitely play off of that. They can play with some ideas for that. And I'm going to give it a chance. We'll see what happens. Worst case scenario is I'll hate it just like I hate Winnie the Pooh. And yes, I said I hate it because I cannot stand that movie. I can't. Like I said, I really don't even want to talk about it. But I'm going to on the channel. I am going to do a review on it. And I'm going to try to be as nice as I possibly can and as professional as I possibly can. Because I feel like if I really say what I really want to say about it, I'll put it this way. Anybody who watched my reaction to Halloween Ends, if you watch that live stream, then you know how I can get. And I said it after that. I don't ever want to be that type of way again. I don't ever, even if it makes me feel that way, I don't ever want to express it on a live stream like that in that manner again, because I felt like once I went back and looked at that stream, that really made me feel unprofessional, and I don't want to come off as unprofessional. So I'm going to do a review on Winnie the Pooh at some point. I'm going to be as calm, cool, collected about it as I possibly can. And I'm just going to speak the truth, from my perspective. But if Belle doesn't do good, I do think we're going to start slowly but surely start seeing this idea of turning these Disney characters into horror movie characters. It's going to diminish. I really do. And NRU Cody Ghostface saying he is heading out. Hey, man, you have a great day. Thank you for stopping in. I greatly appreciate it. Saying, I'm headed out, guys. Hit the like button. Yes, absolutely. If you have not done so already, please definitely shoot that like button. It helps out a lot. As well, share this to your social media platforms. It definitely helps the channel out a lot. Helps a lot of new viewers see this stream and this episode of the podcast. Okay, so can somebody tell me, is this live action Barbie supposed to be a horror movie? Like, I've been getting mixed answers on that question. One says it's not, the other says it is. Somebody tell me something, because when I try to look it up, it's like I get no answers. And then I see the trailer and it looks nothing like a horror movie. So, is it or is it not? That's all I want to know. Because even if it is, I don't think I could watch that. Like, this is not a knock on Ryan Gosling. I love that guy. He's a great actor. But you got a guy who's basically in his 40s playing a character who, in my opinion, I would like to assume is supposed to be a 20-year-old beach bum. Like, I don't know. But somebody let me know. Is that supposed to be a horror movie, or is that just like a regular live action Barbie movie? My Chucky Jordy saying, I'll check it out if released on DVD. Belle sounds like it could be interesting. It depends on reviews and stuff if I do go through with it. Yeah. It does. It definitely does have an interesting premise to it when you think about Beauty and the Beast and the whole Beast character for sure. It definitely does. Like I said, I'm going to give it a chance. We'll see what happens. The worst that could happen is, like I said, it's like Winnie the Pooh. Gina talking to Val saying, I draw the line with Barbie, Val. I hated dolls, and my mom used to buy the Barbies, so I'd parachute them out of the window with a handkerchief. Nice. That reminds me of something the kid from Toy Story would do. I forget his name. Is it Sid? What is that kid's name from Toy Story? I forget his name. The one with the dog. The next door neighbor. The little shit. Huh, that's interesting, Gina. Saying, I don't intend on watching Blood and Honey. I try to never discourage anybody. But I'm just going to say, from my perspective, don't waste your time. That's all I'm saying. If you want to check it out, go for it. You know what I mean? It's a horror movie. It has some good kills. But you'll see if you watch it. And if you end up liking it, cool. Like I said, it just helps make more horror movies. But Gina said, I don't intend on watching Bloody Honey. Stories like Snow White and Beauty and the Beast can be made into horror. Yeah, especially because of the aspects with Snow White, with the whole, apple and the spell. some witchcraft there. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, in the hands of the right director and writer, anything is possible. It's just like with these Scream theories that I talk about. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's not possible, or it doesn't make any sense, or whatever." Anything is possible with a good director and a good writer. Anything is possible. Something that you thought initially might not make any sense, if they write it the right way and tell the story the right way, you might actually, but actually, it does make sense now. So I agree with you on that, though, Gina, because of those aspects that they have in those franchises with the Beast, with the whole spells and the apples for Snow White. Yeah, they can be made into horror movies. Yeah, they could be. It's just all about who's going to make them the right way. That's all. That's all. All right, guys. So we're going to be hitting the last topic here of today's episode of the podcast, and that is going to be the release of the Nun 2 trailer. Val, I know you're excited for me to talk about this. I know the Nun is your homegirl, and you know how I feel about it, Val, but maybe, just maybe, once I watched The Conjuring, I said rewatch, I watched like 10 minutes of it. Excuse me. Once I watched The Conjuring this weekend, maybe I'll go back and rewatch The Nun 1 and maybe have a different point of view on that as well. But from what I watched in the original Nun, and I watched the entire movie, and just saying from what I saw in that movie, it just wasn't interesting enough for me. It wasn't. Like, it just so many laggy parts, like too many draggy parts. And that's why when I seen the trailer for Nun 2, I was like, you know what? This actually looks a little bit better. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more interesting in terms of action, in terms of things happening. I said, okay, I'll give it some clout. I'll talk about it, and I think they did a good job with the trailer. Now, I usually would do a trailer reaction. I feel like I'm kind of a little bit, being that I'm talking about it here now, that, it's a little too late for that, but I'll share my opinion on what I feel about it. I think it was a good trailer. It didn't seem to give away so much. The special effects looks cool. I like the scene when the magazines or the books are turning or whatever, flipping. I think that was a really cool scene. Um, I don't know. You ever just watch a trailer and it just makes you more optimistic? Even if you didn't like the first movie, you watch this trailer to the second movie and it's just like, you know what? This actually might have more potential than the first one. So I'm going to give it a shot. And that's what the feeling I got from the Nun 2 trailer. It did a good job with it. It was well placed. It really was. And I actually do think that the Nun character, it's just like I said with Insidious. You got to find ways to elevate the character. This is a character that could be a really creepy character if you maximize the potential. And that's the reason why I am going to give Nun 2 a chance. Because I do feel with this character, you can maximize potential. I really do. She's creepy as hell looking. Look at her. Take a good look. She's creepy. But I want to see more creepiness. I want to see her do more. And that's what really intrigued me about the Nun 2 trailer, is that it does give me the feel that we're going to get more. We're going to get more action with her. We're going to see more of her. It's not just going to be about little untimely jump scares and none of that. I feel like they're definitely going to be doing more with this character. That's what the trailer made me feel like. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I didn't like the first one. But this trailer, it's actually pretty good. And I have some ideas for the Nun character in terms of what it could be. how can we take this to the next level? And I'm optimistic about it. I think it looks interesting. It looks a lot more interesting than the first one because when I saw the trailer for the first one, and I'm not even trying to be funny, I knew that shit was going to be boring. I did. I just knew it. Just by looking at the trailer, I said this shit going to be boring as hell. And for me, I turned out to be right. You know what I mean? So, but this one, it looks interesting. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm trying to slowly but surely give these paranormal movies that I have ignored over the last few years a chance. I just am afraid, I guess, that I'm going to be feeling left, not disappointed, but just feeling like this is just another paranormal movie, and I don't want to feel that way. That's why I've been avoiding them. But we're gonna catch up on them for sure. But I think Bonnie Aarons, and I seen her in Texas when I was hanging out with Destin for Texas Nightmare. She was at the bar. She was at the same bar we was, same, at the hotel. Really nice lady, from what I've heard her speak and stuff. Really good actress. Really good actress. Like she plays the role well. I just feel like they need to give the character more. Give her more to work with. Let's scare the hell out of people with this character because again, they got the imagery down. The imagery is great. I need more action. And in the trailer for Nun 2, definitely gave me vibes that we are going to see more action for this character. I hope so. I really do. I really hope we get some more action for this character because, again, it's just like with the red faced demon. This is a type of character that has a unique look, has a unique, distinctive look to it. It has a mystique to the look that if you maximize it properly, you could really scare people, like even adults. You could scare the shit out of people if you maximize the potential of your character, maximize that creepiness, up the violence. Let's do it. I feel like sometimes with these paranormal movies, they act so scared to hurt anybody. It's all about scaring. It's all about ah, or that slow creep, and they're panning into the camera, all that shit. I don't just want to see that. I want to see some deaths. I want to see some violence. Like I want to see some tenacity, damn it. Like I'm sorry. A supernatural entity should always have tenacity. Always. For the whole aspect of it being a supernatural spiritual being. There should always be a level of tenacity and aggression with an outside entity that we cannot see or that we can see that nobody else sees or feels. There should always be a level of aggressiveness and tenacity. And I feel like with some of these paranormal movies, they don't do a good job of capturing that. They don't. I tell you one paranormal movie that really did, and to this day, it creeps me the hell out, but it also makes me feel bad because there are cases of this shit really happening to people. It's, been documented. The Entity with Barbara Hershey. You don't know who Barbara Hershey is? She is the mother in the original Insidious. She's what's his name? Joe. What is fucking Patrick Wilson's character? I want to say it's Joseph or whatever his name is, Jonathan or whatever. Let me look this up real quick. Josh, there we go. See, it slipped my mind for a second. Oh. Okay, let me get the camera back on. There we go. But yeah, Josh Lambert, like again, like with these characters, like with these paranormal characters, like they could do so much more with them. Like, man, I just don't. It's like they're scared. Like they're scared to kill people. I don't get it. Why does it have to be this way? Like, you can make it so much more scary if you actually kill people. Like, I get it. You know, some of them are supposed to be like more based on real life, and you don't want to see that happen to people. But if you're going to make a horror movie about it, you have to capture the allure to make it feel authentic. You do. You know what I mean? Let's really be honest here. If a lot of these paranormal cases are true, do you think the real paranormal entities are going to let anybody live? Or at least not kill somebody? But just like I was saying, Barbara Hershey, she played Josh Lambert's mom in Insidious. She played in this paranormal movie, and I believe it came out in 1984, called The Entity, and is based on a true story about a woman who is being basically abused and attacked by an entity she did not see or whatever. And apparently, after the movie was made, they did like a basically like a ritual, like an exorcism, whatever, everything, or however you want to call it, or whatever type of, like I said, ritual they try to do to get the entity out of her life. They even said in the end credits of the movie that to that day, that the entity still followed her wherever she went. No matter where she moved, that entity followed her and stuff. Like I get it. There's real life cases of that. So you want to kind of toe the line on how much violence you can do. And I understand that, but that doesn't mean you can't have any violence at all. Like you can. Don, calm down. You can. And I feel like with a lot of these paranormal movies, they just toe the line too much on jump scares, being creepy, but then it's nothing much else. You know, and I want to see more, especially for the nun character, for characters like the nun, for characters like the red faced demon. Like I said, these characters that have fantastic images, they look scary. These creatures look scary. Let's make them more scary. Let's make them scary. Let's just stop making them look scary and let's actually make their personalities scary. You know what I mean? So, but I am optimistic for the Nun 2 based on what I've seen in the trailer. It doesn't look like it's going to be a total snooze fest. And I am hoping that it doesn't turn out to be a snooze fest because I'll be highly disappointed because, I mean, I guess you should say I should lower my expectations or they are already kind of lowered because of the first one. But I also understand that just because the first one might not be good doesn't mean the second one might not be better than the first one. There are some sequels that, quote unquote, in the terms of in Scream 2, like they said, there are some sequels that surpass the original. Mickey Altieri said that. There are some. We have seen some sequels surpass the original. We have. So this could very well be one of those sequels that surpass the original. I think the trailer looks good. I think it looks more interesting and more fascinating than the original trailer for the original film and the original movie in general. And I'm going to give it a shot. I'll give it a shot because I love horror. I love horror in general and I am a horror content creator. So we're going to talk about it. And I know a lot of fans like The Nun. I know a lot of people like The Nun. So it's definitely going to be an interesting topic to talk about for sure here coming on the channel. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So yeah, I'll be staying away from that. I just don't, I've never been into that type of stuff. Like, I never really got into all that. But if you're going to go see it, cool. Hell yeah. I mean, I hope it's a good movie. I hope it turns out good for whoever goes to see it. Oh, well, Gina, I don't know what you're going to be doing Saturday night, but if you want to, I see you say here, never seen The Conjuring or The Nun. I'm not really into paranormal stuff apart from a few films. Well, if you want to give The Conjuring a chance, this Saturday we're going to be doing a live watch party at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time here. And yeah, if you want to give it a shot, come join us. I'm going to be basically watching it for the first time. I've only seen like the first 10 minutes and then I turned it off because, like I said, I felt like it was just like any other paranormal movie. So, I mean, I'm going to give it a shot though. Everybody's talking great things about it, so I'm going to give it a chance. So, Gina, if you would like to join us Saturday night, be there. You know what I mean? It's going to be a good time. I have a feeling it's going to be a good time Saturday night. I really do. You know what I mean? Hanging out with the homies, hanging out with the family, watching something scary, you know what I mean? Or at least hopefully I feel it is scary. You know what I mean? It definitely should be a good time. Gina says, I've got a film called Anguish that I haven't watched, but I can't read the box to see what it's about. Has anyone seen it? No, I've never even heard of it. This might have to be something I look into. Denisha asks, Marcus, love Chucky. What's thought on him, doll, the legend? Oh, no, he's an icon. He's one of my favorites of all time. Like, that's why I can't really get into no other dolls outside of him because he has so much personality and not too many dolls do. And I love that about him because I know he's supposed to be human trapped inside of a doll. And that's why I like the character so much. Like he's amazing. He's so damn funny. How can you not like the Chucky character? Like he's hilarious. Like, love Chucky. Okay, Val says, Marcus, read this for Gina. The movie Anguish, this gruesome horror film, is about a mother fixated a pathologist assistant. I hope I said that right. A pathologist assistant with an unhealthy. All right, so I'm going to restart that. This gruesome horror film is about a mother fixated ophthalmologist assistant with an unhealthy interest in eyeballs. Read the rest here. In eyeballs, and goes on a killing spree to collect human eyeballs for his mother's collection. Oh. That sounds pretty gruesome. Sounds interesting. Sounds like something I'd watch. What's going on, Michael Joe? I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for stopping in. Gina says you should read the book about the entity. It's so much worse than the film. They're both great. Okay, wow. I can only imagine what's in that book, in all honesty. I'm sure it is a lot worse. That was sad. Like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, watching that movie, sometimes like I gotta walk away because I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes that shit made me about to cry because it's so sad. Like what that entity does to that woman. Like it's not only terrifying, it's sad as hell. Like it really is. Oh, real quick. Yeah, Denisha. Chucky would kick the shit out of Megan. There's too many of him and not enough of her. And she's AI. Chucky would destroy her. I like Megan though. Don't take that as I don't like Megan. I like Megan. I think Megan's cool. She just ain't fucking with Chucky. she ain't fucking with Chucky. She's no. Ain't fucking with Chuckster. She is not. Nope. Chucky would knock her. Chucky would disable her, right? He would disable her. And then he'd perform the ritual, Ade, Dewey, Dembala. And then next thing you know, he's in her fucking body. Next thing you know, he is Megan. He destroyed her. Sorry. I like Megan a lot, but she is not on the level of my boy Chuck. She's not there yet. Yeah, I agree. I will watch it. I'm going to give it a watch. I'm going to give it a try, man. I watched the first one. I didn't really care for it, but this one, just based on what I seen in the trailer and what I was feeling after watching it, I just feel like this might actually be a little bit better. I do. Hopefully they expand on how much they're going to do with the character. That's my number one thing. I want to see the nun doing a lot of stuff in this movie. I do. Fingers crossed. We'll see, y'all. We will see. But I am going to start winding the stream down here, you guys. I'll say I'll go about another 9 minutes or so. We're about to say, about another 9 minutes till 3:30. But this was definitely a lot of fun. I can't wait because I'm also going to be doing, I want to call it out here now. So, guys, I'm going to actually get a hold of Destin. I know he has his morning show, The Daily Dose of Horror. I'm actually going to see if he wants to merge and joint stream tomorrow for episode 12 of my podcast and also another episode of his podcast. We'll see if we can join them together for some Scream 7 rumors and announcement tracker. Now, the reason why that is read there that way, the reason why I read it that way is because we know through the rumors over the last couple weeks that tomorrow, when the physical media is available for Scream 6, there is supposed to be an announcement regarding Scream 7. So that stream is going to be a little bit early. I'll probably start it around 10 o'clock Eastern time. You guys will know here in about the next hour and a half, because after I leave this stream, I'm going to be putting this stream together. So guys, join me early tomorrow morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm going to get a hold of Destin, see if he wants to, do a joint stream with me. We'll both be streaming on our channels, talking about some Scream 7 rumors and seeing if this announcement is going to come out for Scream 7 or if the rumors are just duds. Should definitely be a very interesting time and an interesting conversation, at least until we get some news, guys. Again, we're supposed to get the news tomorrow about Scream 7. So let's track it. Let's hang out, and we'll see if these rumors about the announcement for Scream 7 coming tomorrow are true, or if they are just a big wet fart. I can't wait to see, guys. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting to see if these rumors are going to be true for Scream 7. Are they going to announce something tomorrow? So I'm ready for it. I can't wait to put that stream together. I can't wait to do it. Like I said, I'm going to talk to Destin, see if he wants to, get together for a stream and, do a joint stream together and see what's going to happen. I definitely do think it's better if we get on it early because, sometimes these breaking news is, these topics, they'll come out at like 6, 7 in the morning every once in a while. So I'm trying to make sure that if there is an announcement early, we get on it, you know what I mean, and talk about it. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section before I head out today. Do you guys think that there is going to be an announcement for Scream 7 tomorrow? Come here, Don. You're getting on my nerves. Calm down. It's okay, buddy. Calm down. Yeah, that's right. Calm down. Relax. Too damn hyper. Okay, so let me check some of you guys' comments. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are we going to get an announcement for Scream 7 tomorrow, or do you guys think the rumors are just hot air? I agree, Michael Joe. Yeah, Chucky, he would beat up on Megan, and I hate to put it that way, but that's just the truth. Denisha says, Marcus, you got me laughing. You had me laughing with that. Can't wait for Friday the 13th show and movie thoughts. Yeah, I'm excited for the show. I hope it transitions into a movie as well. I think there's going to be some interesting avenues that they can approach for the TV show. I'm interested to see if they are going to incorporate his dad. I'm also interested to see if they are going to incorporate his sister from Jason Goes to Hell, Diana Kimball. You know, are we going to get some backstory on that? Like, are they going to basically mesh everything together? So I'm interested. I'm excited to see Jason back. It's been a long time. It's been since 2009 since we got a film or anything. And I'm ready for the character to be back. I really am. You know, Jason definitely does hold a special place in my heart. He's definitely one of my top horror icons of all time. And I'm excited. I can't wait for it. You know, before we know it, it's going to be January. Because remember, Adrian King shared that post on Twitter saying that in January of 2024 or whatever is when they're basically going to be releasing the TV show. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what direction they go with that entire series. And hopefully it leads into a film. We'll see. But first, let's hope the TV show is good. Let's hope we get a good TV show. Michael's saying Megan is for the LGBTQ to be LBGQ2 community. Okay. You know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, they're human beings too. My Chunky Jordy saying, yeah, my Scream 6 DVD will be posted tomorrow. I can finally watch it. Yes, nice. Awesome, Jeannie. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. I know you've heard spoilers along the way, but once you really watch it and see it for yourself, let me know what you think about it. I would love to hear your opinion on the film. And yeah, Gina's saying that I think the announcement will be after the writer's strike. See, I feel like if the rumors of the rough draft being of the first draft being completed for the movie, I feel like if that is true, I don't think that the whole writer's strike matters. Excuse me. Now I could be wrong because that rumor could completely be false as well. You know, we won't know until we know. But I feel like if they already have a completed first draft of the film, I just don't feel like the writer's strike has any effect on them making an announcement for when they're going to start filming the movie. So we'll see though, because also the Screen Guilds, the Screenwriters Guild or whatever stuff, however you say that, Screen Actors Guild, whatever, they're about to expire too. There's no contract apparently. So if a contract doesn't get done, I think by tomorrow or Wednesday, there ain't no movies gonna get made. So hopefully they get everything ironed out. I really do. You know what I mean? Because that would really stink if a lot of movies didn't get made. That would really stink. What would we do with ourselves? Like, I know there's so much movies, so many horror movies on like streaming and stuff like that, but we are all anticipating like our mainstream movies like Saw X, Scream 7, stuff like that. So if there's any halt to that, we're all going to be pretty disappointed. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I answered. Yeah, I answered this. Somebody else asked me this earlier, just in a different way, Michael. But yes, Michael Joe asked, could Michael Myers come back in the future? Yes, absolutely. There are so many storylines within the Halloween franchise you can go in. You can go with the Tommy Doyle, Stephen Lloyd storyline. Some may not like that pick, but that is a direction they could go in. You could pick up after the events of Halloween Resurrection, pick up with John Tate. You can obviously pick up with Jamie Lloyd, redo that. There's definitely some ways that you can bring back Michael Myers in the future, for sure. Absolutely. And just like Gina says, Michael Myers, Michael will always come back. That is the truth. He will always come back. It's just like Chucky in so many ways. I'll be back. I'll always come back. But dying is such a bitch. Let's go. Let's go. Love it. Absolutely love it. I can't wait, guys. Hey, listen. Whether you liked Insidious, The Red Door or not, it's still a great time to be a horror fan. There is so much horror content coming out. It's crazy. All we can hope for is that with the actors and the writers situation, hopefully things get ironed out so there's no halt to any projects. So we can keep getting these movies that we want to see. Whether we end up liking them or not remains to be seen. But I'd like to think I'm speaking for everybody, and I could be wrong, but I'd like to think if there definitely was a halt in production for any movie, horror movies, anything, I think we would all be kind of, even though there's a lot on streaming, we would all still be like, oh man, like this stinks. Like, because especially for movies like Scream 7, Saw X and stuff, you want to go out to the theater and experience it. You do. And if there's no movies that are going to be in the theater, what are we going to do with ourselves? Like, so again, guys, I'm really hoping that, all this nonsense with, the writer's strike and all that stuff, I hope that gets situated for sure. I really do. All right, I'm going to get to the last few of you guys' comments, and then I'm going to wrap up this episode of the podcast for today. I greatly appreciate you all coming in and hanging out. It's definitely appreciated. And definitely be on the lookout for tomorrow. I will be streaming early. I will let you guys know in the community post what Destin has to say, whether we're going to be doing a joint live stream from both of our channels, streaming on both of our channels. StreamYards has this feature to where we can do that. So just keep an eye out for the community post. You guys will have some information here very, very shortly on what we're going to be doing for tomorrow morning for the Scream 7 Rumors and Announcement Tracker live stream, episode 12 of the podcast. Oh, wait a minute. Denise is saying, I'm not seeing Michael Joe's comment for some reason. Oh, that's weird. I don't know why that is. I mean, I can see his comment. And I'm sure everybody else sees his comment. Why can't you see it? That's weird. Maybe try refreshing Denisha or something. I don't know. That's awkward. I've never heard that before. Like I'm stuck. I don't know what to say about that. Michael's saying, Marcus, would you like them to do the Halloween 4 original script? Well, what do you mean by the original script? Like, are you talking about in terms of the movie that we already got? Or was there supposed to be another script that they didn't do, that like the movie didn't play out the way the original script was supposed to be? But if you're talking about Halloween 4, like if you're talking about them doing Halloween 4 over again, or like in terms of bringing Danielle Harris back and revamping that storyline, yes. In terms of the movie, I see what you say. Yeah, in terms of the movie, no. I think that you can pick up from the events of Halloween 4. But you could redo Halloween 4 essentially. You could do that. But me personally, I think it would be better if you maybe just picked up after the events of Halloween 4. But hey, as long as we get Danielle Harris back in the Halloween franchise as Jamie Lloyd, I'm happy. We'll see. Hey, what's going on, Novel Edits? You are actually coming in at the last part of the stream. I'm actually about to shut the episode, this this episode of the podcast down. I greatly appreciate you stopping in, though, and showing your love and support, saying, hi, I'm a big fan. Thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate that, honestly. And I will say this, Novel. I'll promote it here again real quick. Check out for the community tabs here in about an hour or so or whatnot. I'm going to be having a live stream tomorrow, another episode of the podcast. It's going to be episode 12 of the podcast. And we are going to be, I'm saying we because I'm hoping and I'm all but certain Destin would be down to do this in the morning. But tomorrow I'm going to be doing episode 12 of the podcast, Scream 7, Rumors and Announcement Tracker, because tomorrow we're supposed to be getting an announcement regarding Scream 7. So I am going to be up on this. Like I said, I'm probably going to set the stream anywhere between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to see what Destin is up to, see if he wants to, put our shows together. And yeah, we're going to be, basically, trying to look out for that breaking news as we are live streaming for any announcements regarding Scream 7. Because there have been a lot of rumors saying that we're supposed to get the announcement tomorrow when the physical media, hits for everybody to go get the DVD and all that stuff. There's supposed to be some type of announcement for Scream 7. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow morning, definitely come check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I definitely do think, Destin is going to be able to have time to hopefully, merge our streams together and, we'll do this damn thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really do hope he's able to do it. Possibly. That's very possible. There's now even rumors coming out that she might not even be in Scream 7, which is first it's her and Melissa Barrera, Courtney Cox and Melissa Barrera are supposedly rumored to be signed on already for Scream 7. Then I see shortly after that, Beyond the Mask post a video saying with the caption saying Gail Weathers not in Scream 7 with question marks. So we don't know at this point if she's even going to be in the movie. But if she is, it's a possibility she definitely could die. But okay, everyone, I am going to shut it down now. Thank you guys all for I will answer this question real quick from Novel. Do you like Ethan as a Ghostface? I do. I actually give credit to Ethan for most of the kills in Scream 6. I think it was him. He was trying to impress his Faja. He was trying to live up to Richie. He was trying to show Bailey, you can love me just as much as you can love Richie. And unfortunately, it definitely did not come off that way from Detective Bailey, that he had that much love for Ethan as much as he did for Richie, for sure. But okay, everyone, that is it for episode 11 of I Shot Him 6 Times Horror Podcast. This definitely was a lot of fun, talking about some Insidious box office numbers. Are we going to get a future film? Talking about some Belle, Beauty of the Beast live action horror film, as well as some Nun 2 trailer, discussion. Again, I'm definitely going to give it a chance. I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I really hope they ramp things up for that character. But again, this was definitely a lot of fun. Everybody, be safe, stay blessed. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. I love every single one of you amazing, beautiful people.
You are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times.